with all the mixed reviews out there, you're probably wondering whether the LavAzza Pods work or not. There are so many mixed reviews for all the original line Nespresso capsules. My first foray into the compatibles was with the Cafe Vernano. I did a full review on that in a different video if you haven't caught it. You know, it's basically you know, push, but I came across these. I had the same question, will these work or not? But I came across a deal, 21 cents a pod, that was just too good to pass up, too good not to try, or at least well worth the risk. Even if half them didn't work, I'd still be way better off, given that Nespresso pods are $75, $85, even $1 each. So I'm going to give you the lowdown on these, work, don't work. Give you the flavor. I'm going to compare them to the Nespresso pods and give you the little demonstration. So first off, the first thing I did was actually check the dates, and the dates on here are actually reasonable enough. This is Italian, so it's September 30th, 2023. Not too bad. Plenty of time to use these up. These are 5 grams each, so very similar to the Nespresso pods. They come in packs of 10. These are sealed. Now, one difference that you'll note, and this is well known, this part here is aluminum, this part here is aluminum, but this is plastic. I've had concerns about it, but what I realized was the hot water passing through here doesn't pass through long enough, I hope, I think, to do any harm in terms of picking up the BPA, whatever, plastic, I don't know. If any of you have any scientific data that suggests otherwise, please do post it for all of us. But that was my reasoning. But right off the bat, they look fairly similar in size, but to me, this is the original Nespresso. It's a bit larger, or at least fatter, and the head is just about exactly the same. Now, the bottom is slightly different. You can see that this is curved, this is flat. With that said, I've never had a problem with the LavAzza pods falling in. A lot of people claim that and I've seen this with other pods, they will fall directly in before you could even, get any coffee out, before it even starts. I have never had that problem, and I don't know why people do. It could be, I can only speak for the Essenza Mini, that's what I have here, by DeLonghi. It could be maybe how people are placing it, dropping it. I literally just drop it in like that, easy enough. I don't know if people are pushing it in, doing otherwise, but I've never had an issue. I have had another issue that I'll get to in a minute, but outside of that, just do note that there is a difference, and it is possible, performance would be different. I don't know if these companies would license their name to use, compatible, this and that, or perhaps, the whole key is that Nespresso would then have a patent on this, this style or this design, and therefore nothing will work as perfectly. But anyway, they do fit, and I've never had an issue loading one up. I've never lost a pod down, into the tray or anything. No issues of that sort. I have had an issue whereby, and it almost seems completely random, where place the pod in, start the machine, and I'm going to do the demo, and we'll see what happens. But essentially, I will get a little bit of water first. The first 2 seconds will be just water, then the coffee and espresso comes out. Now, that hasn't been an issue for me, because ultimately, once the coffee does come out, it is a little bit more, what's the word? It's stronger, it's more potent, because it's less water going through more coffee. It kind of evens out. And since I tend to either put hot froth milk, or even just hot milk, or cream rather, or even just basically stirring in sugar, I'm mixing it all up anyway. I've never noticed a difference in taste. So that occurrence just seems to be random. I can go 3-4 pods in a row without any issues. I'll put a 4th one in, and it'll start, and it'll drip with water first, the first 2 seconds, and then I'll be fine. I usually make 2 shots straight, in the same cup, and the second shot never has an issue with the water, ever. So there's no rhyme or reason. It's still not clear to me why I put them in the same way every time, drop it in, load it up. But anyway, with that, let's do a quick demo. Change the angle here. You saw me drop it in, And just going to show you now, these are not regular espresso glasses. These are a little bit wider, but I want to show you the crema. It does form a perfect crema. Here's the short of it. You know, people on the reviews are always complaining about the flavor and taste. Nespresso pods tend to be a lot more, what's the word, sophisticated, a lot more notes, different flavors. I would say that these LavAzza, at least these two, the Armonico and the Deciso, this is definitely a bit stronger if you're going to be using milk or any kind of anything other ingredient. This will pull through the milk and the flavor will come through. If you're using a straight shot, this has a little bit more flavor and less intense. This is definitely very bold, very strong. But just compared to these Nespresso pods, again, these will have, like, these are a bit more sophisticated flavors, more nuanced. This is a good traditional espresso shot that you would typically walk into any kind of coffee bar, whether it be United States, Italy, or anywhere in Europe. Not just because you probably will be getting, or a good chance you're getting LavAzza. These are known nationwide, or internationally, I should say. But because it's just like a straighter up, more flat kind of, not in a bad way, but just flat tasting, typical espresso. As I said, these are developed, these are more sophisticated. So if you're going for an individual espresso shot in the morning, you know, you may miss your Nespresso pod if there's a particular flavor or very, you know, unique flavor that you're looking for. This is not going to necessarily replicate it. But if you're looking for your general fix, you're adding milk, you're making your lattes, your cappuccinos, this is a great base coffee to use in terms of flavor. Anyway, we saw one loaded up there. Let me turn on the machine, get that warmed up. We'll run a quick shot. I'm going to show you both. This is the Deciso. Comparatively, you're not going to really notice the difference in look, but just to show you how the pods work. The colors are different, but again, this is the same. And just closer up while now it's warmed up, but definitely is a different design. You can see that bottom. Anyway, it's in. Let's go. See this. See, there's the water first, and then the shot comes out. And as I said, I usually put a little bit of sugar in there, so generally no issues. Because I'm mixing it up anyway. You'll see a nice crema forming, and it's still very tasty. This tends to drip a little bit longer than my Nespresso pods. Generally, Nespresso, once that water finishes, I'll get maybe 1 or 2 drips, and then it stops. This has a little bit more, and I just let it drip out just to get that full intensity. You see, I didn't lose it in there. It drops down perfectly. And then just as far as the crema, remember, this is a wider top, so if you use a smaller Nespresso cup, your crema will be a bit taller and thicker. But hopefully you can see some color in there. And like that. Okay, I'm going to load up a Deciso. Drops in. Here we go. So you noticed on that one there was no water coming out. As I said, usually on the second one, no water. I don't know why. Makes no sense to me. And just as far as whether water comes out the first time or not, on the first shot, that seems to be a bit random as well. Drip, 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 and there we go. So there is your Deciso. Nice crema as well, pretty thick, very flavorful, much more bold and intense than the Armonico. As I said, if you're using any kind of milk products in there, this will definitely come through. So there you have it. The Nespresso compatible pods for the original line do work. The fact that a couple of drops of water come out first every now and then does not bother me. It's not a deterrent, especially, you know, for the right price. To me, these are a no-brainer. Last I saw, this company, the same seller, was selling it for 28 cents, I think, a pod. We'll leave a link down below for that seller. It's not direct from Amazon, but they did ship quick. I keep saying, you know, there's definitely, it's not the same as a original Nespresso pod. These are definitely have more, you know, are more complex, have different notes, flavorful notes, and different flavors for that matter. This is your more standard espresso. Definitely pulls through milk, especially the Deciso, and Armonico is great for a regular shot. Worth having in your pantry, especially if you have guests and family visiting, or a dinner party. I mean, if 5-6 people, this could, you know, 2 shots, it could quickly get to $20 easy, as opposed to a few dollars with these LavAzzas. And people will definitely appreciate the taste. LavAzza is known internationally. I'm a big fan. I've reviewed these before for my regular espresso machine. Speaking of which, if you're new to the Nespresso line or Nespresso machines, I have another video where I explain why I switched, and explain things like, you'll see what this little red thing is for, and I have some tips on maintaining your machine. If you have any other questions, LavAzza wise, coffee wise, leave them in the comments down below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you found this video at all helpful, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, subscribe down below. Thank you for joining me.